My name is Maloryna, and 5 months ago, I completed my first set of tier tests with little to no practice in any game mode outside of Sword. These are my results, and I'm not very proud of them. Even my tier in NethPot, where I achieved low tier 3, felt undeserved. This time around, I'm determined to get at least one more tier 3 placement, and hopefully improve my skills in each of the 7 game modes on MC tiers. These are Sword, Axe, Pot, NethPot, UHC, SP, and Vanilla, also known as Crystal. Each kit has its own nuances and skill requirements, but a majority require decent sword skill. I believed at the time I deserved a much higher tier in Sword, and decided not to focus on it too much for my practice. Majority of my month was dedicated to practicing NethPot, SMP, and UHC. All game modes I felt I could greatly improve in. Crystal and Axe didn't receive much attention, but I still tried to learn something new for both. If you're unfamiliar with how MC tiers works, I gave a brief explanation in my first video, but I'll go more in depth now to the best of my ability. First time players are pitted against a verified tester and given a rank from low tier 5 to low tier 3 based on their performance. If they beat their tester or play good enough, and their tester believes that they deserve a higher tier, they perform what's called an evaluation test. We'll talk more about eval later, but for now, let's get into my sword test. Last time, I stated that this was arguably the easiest game mode. In reality, what makes sword so easy to start is what makes it so difficult to master. There's a lot of complexity when it comes to the kit, which means your movement, timing, spacing, reach, and aim are all extremely important here. At a high level, the ability to comfortably mesh techniques together into your own playstyle in order to outplay the opponent requires tons of practice. That being said, I stand by my statement that sword has the lowest skill floor, and I believe it's an essential skill. Alright, enough yapping. My sword tester is XQA. This guy's pretty intimidating, but I'm not scared. I can't afford to be. Last time I felt nervous, I got high tier 5 in 3 of the 7 game modes. I won't let my nerves get the best of me again. Managing to play well and take 3 rounds off my tester, I was given low tier 3. I actually also won 3 rounds against my tester when I got high tier 5 a month ago. I believe that for low tier 3 and below, your tier isn't based solely on rounds won, but on your overall performance. This was a massive high to ride on going into the next test, and there's absolutely nothing that could kill my mood. If you haven't caught on, I'm using a subtle technique known as foreshadowing. Last time I tested for NethPot, I achieved low tier 3. This means that when I tried to retest, I had to complete my high tier 3 evaluation. However, I didn't know what this meant at the time. The kit looked different from when I had last played it. I'd been practicing the PvP Legacy kit, which had protection 4 armor and no bow or arrows. This was a disaster of a game, there's no other way to put it. I could have known I'd be playing a different kit by practicing with someone else from the Diamond Potion Discord, but the other game modes had much more of my attention since I'd already gotten a good tier last time. This overconfidence resulted me in de-ranking from low tier 3 to high tier 4 in pot, and had negative repercussions going into my next test. I immediately queued for Axe not 20 minutes after my failed evaluation test. My mental state was in ruin and my tester was once again Darthly. I only managed to take one round off of him last time while I was in good spirits, and this time around I was completely out of it. I wouldn't be able to adapt to his playstyle in this poor frame of mind. Despite everything, I'd managed to take 2 rounds off my tester, receiving low tier 4 once again. I knew I'd gotten better and was frustrated my tier didn't reflect that. Even Darthly himself said he thought I was very close to high tier 4. Why did I care? Why was I letting an arbitrary Minecraft tier list get to me on an emotional level? This expectation to win was poisoning my mind and something had to change. I'd gone from being gracious for receiving tier 5 and tier 4 placements to beating myself up over getting even better tiers. My expectations were crushing me, and I needed to take a break from playing. It took me 2 weeks before I could touch Minecraft again in good faith, and I was promoted to tier 1 and crashing out. I'd taken a lot of time to think and reflect on my mental state. I got frustrated at my Diamond Pot tester for seemingly throwing an anomaly at me, but if I had been more diligent, I could have known I'd been practicing the wrong kit the whole time. It was nobody's fault but my own. There was a silver lining though. While I hadn't practiced PvP in 2 weeks, my mental was much better and I knew I'd improved since my last set of tests, regardless of what tier I'm given. I wasn't nervous anymore, because I was going to my last 4 tests to have fun. I'd stopped dwelling on the mistakes of my past, and looked positively towards the future. Speaking of the future, let's talk about NethPot. This is by far my favorite game mode on the tier list, and this is what I'd practiced for the most. If I tested 2 weeks ago, I probably would have been frustrated with anything less than low tier 3. While I am aiming to eventually reach high tier 3 in this kit, I don't mind taking my time to get there. For some reason, my tester only gave me 2 rounds. Who knows, maybe there's a rule I don't know about. I saved high tier 4 here, and while it did sting a little getting a lower tier than sword, despite all the time and effort I sunk in, there was always next time, and I knew I'd keep improving. Next up, I retested in Crystal. This is my worst game mode that I've put the least amount of time into learning, and while I personally don't think there's any way to top my stellar gameplay from last time, this is how my fights went. Miraculously, I received low tier 4 even after that abysmal gameplay. For your own safety, I'll continue to only recreate my crystal fights using Paint 3D in the future. Also, if you're enjoying the video, I'm kidding. Let's move on to SMP. Before my SMP tier test, I was playing teamfights with a few of my friends from PvP Legacy's FFA server, who decided to follow me and spectate. Thanks to my expert no debuff side prolling strategies, receiving high tier 4 was easy. I'm joking. My shield breaks here were atrocious, and I could have taken that first round had they been consistent. I know everyone in that lobby, including myself, dropped their jaw watching this sequence unfold. Nonetheless, I definitely improved in SMP. I managed to make it to the endgame in both rounds. Finally, I'll be retesting in UHC. Remember my keybinds from last time? Voila! I don't actually know where that expression comes from.
Wow!
They might look completely foreign, but this makes utility usage much easier for me. I've been using these throughout all my tests, and at the time I was still adjusting to them. Hence why I'm almost even slower than I was before. Alright, enough stalling. This is my UHC tier test. As long as I don't get trapped in obsidian, it'll be completely fine.
Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys!
Taking a round off the Tyke prompted him to say that it was the first round he'd ever lost at a tester. Was this true? I don't know, but I'm happy with getting high tier 4. I think thus far I've had very generous testers. While I do believe I'm around the tiers I've received, I can't help but feel like I played very poorly in a lot of my tests looking back. I visibly cringe watching myself try to side pro in SMP, or the constant reloading of my crossbow in UHC instead of healing myself, and my poor mechanics in general. I believe I've gotten much better overall as time has passed, and ever since these tests, I've learned to detach my self-worth from these silly numbers. This is where I placed, and honestly, aside from NethPot and Act, I'm very proud of how much I improved in just a month after first playing all the game modes. Star's an exception. I had a good 3 months to practice before getting low tier 3. If you're interested in tier testing for yourself, the website and Discord are linked in the description below. I'm happy that Marlo, Learn, and the rest of the MC Tiers community continue to uphold this project, even if I do think it's silly and inaccurate, because at the end of the day, who really cares? We're all just doing it for fun. In just the short 7 months I've been playing this version for, I've learned a ton and met a lot of amazing people, and hope to continue enjoying this game. Thank you for watching.